Hey BBs, it's Plastic. It's Hey back with you guys for another video. Today's video, I really wanted to sit down and Ghoul chat with you guys about like my opinions and my gripe, I guess, with the collector dolls as a whole. Because recently there's been a lot of collector dolls, and I feel like I've been talking about it on my channel a lot. How I'm not really obsessed with the collector dolls, and like they just kind of irk me in the wrong way. As a collector, an adult collector, I'm 18 years old. It's kind of weird, but I've been obviously collecting dolls for a minute, and there's been a lot of dolls recently with like kind of the boom of doll collecting and how it's been kind of blowing up, I guess, and not as like niche. TikTok and everything and social media. Doll collecting has definitely been a lot more prominent within like I guess pop culture, which isn't really like real, I guess, but like kind of a little bit. There have been a lot of more collector dolls that have been targeted towards us, which I think is a really good thing, and I think there's a lot that could go into making these dolls really cool and collector quality. But again, there's been so many of them recently, which is kind of my first point about why I just can't deal with the collector dolls right now, is that so many collector dolls have been coming out with by different brands. Even in the same brand, there's been a lot of dolls released. And I'll take Monster High for an example, because that's the first thing that I really wanted to talk about, was how many Monster High dolls have been pushed out by Mattel Creations in the last year. Already in 2023, I think we have what, like 4 Monster High dolls, and it's only like March. We've had the Monster High Elvira's collector doll, which was impossible to get. I didn't even try for that one because I knew I didn't want her. We have the Love Is Not Dead Cleo Indus, which was a 2-pack, and I kind of labeled that as 2 different dolls because it came out. And we also have the more recent Tonka Tora Masquerade Frankenstein, which is still in stock after a month, and I did not buy them because there's been so many Monster High dolls that have come out, which did completely like diluted what a collector doll is. They made them so, there's so many of them that just kind of came out, that which is like the issue is because like they don't feel special anymore. Like the fact that they have like what, like 4 of them already in like 2 months, I guess, because they didn't really release anything in March yet. As of filming this, they could release something tomorrow, and then I'd be like whatever. But they've had so many of these dolls come out that have at a high price point. Most of these dolls retail for around 60 and above, just kind of the holiday thing, and that the amount of them coming out just like don't make them special anymore. Like I just, every time I see a new one, I just haven't felt the need to buy it. I haven't bought a Monster High collector doll since Holiday Draculaura, which was like December, which isn't like the biggest deal or anything, but again, as a long time Monster High fan, like it's kind of sad that I'm already sick of them. When the whole idea of these Monster High collector dolls, which I'm not like the biggest fan of either, is how not the fuck, what the fuck. Hey BBs, it's Plastic, and today I'm back with you guys for another video. Today's video, I'm back and we're Ghoul chatting about the state of collector dolls and how I am low-key sick of them. I've been, I feel like, talking on my channel a bit about how I don't like collector dolls for quite a minute, just because recently they've been really bugging me. And as an adult collector, I'm kind of, the target demographic of these collector dolls. It's kind of funny that like I'm not like the biggest fan of them or anything, even though like that's what they're for. And I know there's like kind of a boom in collecting right now, especially with like the Monster High reboot, the Burt Rats reboot, Rats reboot, Bratz reboot, and like all the Monster High stuff. There's just been a lot more, and also like all the amazing dolls on the market right now, like OMG and Rainbow High. Like there's been a lot of more reasons, I feel like, for people to collect than ever. Everything has been super insane recently, and obviously with that, there's gonna be a lot more adult collectors and everything, which is like fine. I don't mind adult collectors being more prominent. I think it's actually a really good thing that we have more collectors, more people who are willing to like be open with their doll collecting. But that's not really what this is about. I'm more talking about how heavily it has been emphasized that adult collector dolls are like the thing now, which irk my entire soul. There have been so many releases so far, not really in this year, but like in the past year, like 12 months, I'll say. And with that, it's been really overwhelming because a lot of these adult collector dolls are very overpriced, not overpriced, but like they're just very expensive. And again, as a fan and as a collector of these brands, it gets really draining after a while to just see these dolls get released month after month after month, and it's just like, what's happening? The first kind of example though I want to talk about, like that's been on the top of my head since like last month, was the Monster High Mattel Creations fiasco, because I don't think people like really like care about this like I do, but Monster High has released 4 dolls, 4 collector dolls, 3 different releases, but 4 dolls altogether in the last 2 months, which like as like an outside person, like what? But these dolls retail for 60 and above. So the first one that we kind of got was the Elvira doll, which sold out like crazy. That doll was just really boring to me. I guess I could talk a little bit about why I didn't like buy any of these releases, because the dolls themselves have just been kind of like lackluster. We also have the holiday 2-pack with Cleo and Deuce, which I kind of count as separate dolls. I know it's like the same pack, but like $30 each, and they're wearing like satin fabrics and stuff. Not my favorite thing in the world. And the last one that we recently got, I guess in February, was the Masquerade Frankie doll, which is still available for $75. Which I know that price point isn't anything crazy. We've seen the $75 Monster High price point for a long time, but recently with this new Masquerade doll, it makes me mad. As again, I'm a big Monster High fan. I've been the biggest Monster High fan forever. This doll comes with a bodysuit, a jacket, a saddle stand, get out of my face with that, and like a card, and that's it. Not a brush, not a diary, not a bag. And it's been really draining because there have been so many Monster High dolls that have come out, and again, in the last 2 months, there's nothing that's been out for March yet. They might release something tomorrow, who knows, but with the like 4 dolls, it's been really like not as exciting to buy them. I feel like with the collector dolls coming out so much that there's no really reason in my brain that I feel like I need to pay this premium price for a doll if they're just going to release another one next month that's going to be as lackluster as the next one. And it's been kind of annoying because, again, I bought all the Monster High Honkator dolls. I bought Frankie, Cleo, Draculaura, Claudine, Laguna, and whatever other one there was. All the main of them. They were all expensive, and I understood the price point as they were very limited dolls, whatever. But at this point, I feel like the Honkator lineup should have died with them, or they should have just released the new characters, because I guess talking about, I'll put a thing, the new ones that we just got were just so lackluster and boring. These dolls feel like very like weird right now because like they never really came with that much in terms of quality, in terms of like actual accessories to really warrant the $75 price point. And this new Masquerade line, which just made me like extremely angry when I saw it, did that, but like leveled it up, and that's kind of what upset me again as a Monster High fan. So I just have not felt inclined to buy any of the new Monster High releases, which was really upsetting because I do love Monster High. I just feel like there's nothing more for them. And all of the dolls that I feel like we've been seeing so far with the Monster High Collection line and the Honkator line have not been edgy enough for me to feel like I need them. They feel like whenever we do adult collector dolls should be something new to the brand. They should be something really exciting. They have to be good in terms of quality, in terms of a design, and recently I feel like we just haven't had adult designs, which is really not fun. I feel like a great example, though, of this was the Bratz Maulola collection, which I have somewhere over here. These dolls have, this is kind of like weird, just like put in a video, but these dolls kind of like made them feel like adult and collector, while the Monster High dolls just feel like regular Monster High dolls with like lashes and like a fabric bag. But like, look at how fun this was. Like, this doll just like looks like something that's like not like a regular Bratz doll release, and that's kind of why I just like haven't been obsessed with like a lot of the releases like so far, because all like not all of them actually feel like they're anything new to the brand. Which is upsetting because I feel like whenever I'm paying for a premium doll, I want it to feel like it's something that I need. It's something that is new. It's something that's exciting. Another example, though, of lackluster dolls is definitely Roxy Grand from the Rainbow High brand, who has not introduced anything new to the brand, really. She introduced, like, that new stand, a mermaid gown, and some rhinestones. Is nothing crazy and nothing new, but because she's a collector doll and comes in a big fancy box, we can charge the $80, $60, which is also a great point that a lot of these collector dolls have been very inconsistent in terms of pricing. And I get it, like, whatever. Like, you're gonna try to spend a little bit more money on, like, a prettier doll. I know a lot of collectors feel, like, very satisfied when they spend more money on a doll just because it feels, like, more collector to them, which is another topic of the secondhand market is just a fiasco mess with, like, the Bratz. I spent $1,500 on an Earth Girl Yasmin. I spent $700 on Draculaura Honkator. Mess, tragic mess. I think I've talked about that mess many times, but more of like the new dolls. Horrible how they've just kind of been like this thing where a lot of collectors feel only justified when they buy these expensive dolls. I don't think that's a reason why they cost that much. I do think they probably cost a lot for, the different reasons and whatever. But I wish that we had more insight on how many of these collector dolls were kind of released. One of the biggest things that kind of justified me personally for buying the Monster High Honkator collection like last year was the fact that they were very limited. They were very limited. They sold out in seconds. Draculaura sold out in 5 minutes. Laguna sold out in 5 minutes, I think, as well. Same with Cleo, I think. The last 3 of those sold out super quickly. And I just wish that, like, with that, like, I know that they sell out quickly and I know that they're very limited, whatever. I wish that we got an insight of how much they made of each doll, which would make the price point so much nicer. And that's not even just Monster High's issue, it's Bratz's issue, it's LOL issue, it's a Rainbow High issue, it's even a Barbie issue. Personally, I don't really collect Barbie that much, but I can talk about her a little bit. There's no number count on there is no number count on any of the dolls that I've been buying recently from the collector ones and everything, which is super frustrating as if you're buying a doll for this premium price, you want it and you like want it to be limited. I understand that feeling of, having something new, having something that nobody else has, having something that's, sought after. I think that's a really cool feeling and I personally buy into that sometimes. But like it would be cool to like know which one, like how many we have, and they've kind of done that before with Rainbow High. I think with like the Lily Chang was numbered, with the other one Jet Dawson was numbered as well. She's hiding. I'll be fighting that doll in a minute, but they only had like 1,000 of them that were numbered, which feels very weird to me. Like if you have a set that are numbered and set that aren't numbered, just number them all. I want to know how many Lily Changs are out there. You know what I mean? I just think that'd be fun to know. I feel like it wouldn't harm anybody. Like maybe it would harm your sales, but like isn't that the reason you're like? Because when you price these collector dolls as well, you have to account for the material cost. So if you're buying a doll for more expensive, it probably costs less, or probably costs more to make because you're not buying as much material. Like I'm taking Draculaura for an example because she's here for a reason. We all know Draculaura Honka doll is probably one of the most sought after Monster High doll. Not maybe sought after new Monster High dolls. I'll say that because I know a lot of people love this doll, which there's a lot of reasons to love this doll. It's Draculaura. She's like whatever. It probably costs more to make this hat than it would a Playline, I don't know. Do I have any fabric Monster High hats? Ghoulia's beanie. Ghoulia's beanie from Monster High Generation 3. Both these hats probably, like, on a regular would cost, like, 25 cents to make, maybe, like, 10 cents. Like, they're little doll hats. But with, like, the collector, this is a more limited drop. It's not in every Target. It's not in every Walmart. It's not, it's not sold as much, so they don't make as much money back. They have to buy this material in limited quantities, I guess. So it probably costs more money to make the hat than it would on a regular doll. And obviously that goes for every single piece for the doll. If that makes any sense, you know what I mean? It would just be noted like how many hats exist in the world. Is that what I mean? So it probably does cost more money to make this doll than it would to make, I don't know, Forever Diamonds Chloe. Sure. Playline Bratz doll from 20 years ago. New collector doll. It probably costs more to make this doll than it would to make this doll because she was made in less quantities. This was made in more quantities, so it probably costs, again, less to make her. That's what I'm trying to get. It's been a really long day. And I think the number kind of account would also help in my next point, which would be the inconsistency between dolls and the brands. I'm going to take over Miss Lily. No, this is Jet and Jewel because Jet came out. Actually, I think Jet's a really good example because this doll was, I think, $60 in 2021, right? She came with herself. She came with a second dress, a sewing machine, some little boxes, a second pair of shoes, a second gown, and this big extravagant box. And for $60, that's still expensive, I think, for what it is. But it made it more justified that she came with a lot of things. And if we take Ms. Roxy Grand, who was this year's holiday doll, she was, the big thing. She came in the big box. You got her, the switching stand, and a big box. And I think they costed around the same price. I think this doll was $80, but she might be $60 at her retail price. I have, like, as a consumer, as a collector, I can't understand why there is such a decrease in terms of, like, accessories and stuff. And even the bodies that these dolls have, that Lily, or, oh my god, I keep calling her Lily. Jet, that's her name, has a special joint in her rib cage or in her chest. Why does this doll not have that? And I think if we gave that number count, if we gave that, whatever, something more, I would understand as a fan why this doll costs more and comes with less. You know what I mean? I think that would just help out a lot of people, and it just is one of the things that just have been irking me since getting these dolls. And I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I don't think this doll's really that limited. She was sold in Target. She was sold at Macy's.com. She's on Amazon. So I just don't understand what's happening with the Rainbow High things in specific. Also, the Bratz dolls, I think I want to point them out. I know like this is kind of more negative video about collector dolls, but I want to say that the Bratz collector dolls have been super good. I think I already talked about Mallola Felicia. but they've been giving us a lot more. They heard from the GCDSD dolls. These dolls had like screen printed eyes and stuff. They kind of learned from the mess of they only had one outfits in a big box kind of tragedy. And they've kind of fixed that, and they've made their collector dolls more worth it in my opinion. They've had the Colt Gaia dolls and the Malala dolls both come with first and second outfits, a mannequin stand, a nicer stand, for the actual dolls, and accessories and bags and stuff. And I think that's something that we need to like kind of like learn. I think a lot of companies are kind of scared to take criticism for these collector dolls because, it's a collector doll. It's not meant for our kids. It's not meant to be played with and everything. But they're dolls, and a lot of collectors who buy these dolls like to redress them, restyle them, use their pieces and stuff. So I really just want to give that little like nod to Bratz to thank you for listening to us. Thank you for giving us second outfits for these dolls. Thank you for upping the quality and the collaborations and stuff. I know these dolls are kind of hard to make because they're again in collaboration with things. But also just seeing these dolls come with these big boxes, which is one of my biggest pet peeves right now. I don't know why. Extremely big boxes with empty space is so wasteful to me, in my opinion, because it's like it costs more to ship it over from the factories to whatever country you guys live in, and it just feels like, what are we doing? Like, who cares? And also, like, as a collector, if I keep a doll in box, I don't want a giant box. I need space to have other boxes, you know what I mean? Especially like I've had a couple Playline dolls in box, and they all have smaller boxes, which I feel like I'm more inclined to keep them in box because like the boxes don't take up as much room, and they're not wasteful. But back to Monster High, because I think they were definitely the thing in the last year that came out with the most collector dolls, and that's kind of where my knowledge is mostly. There have been different grades of collector dolls, which I think is a good idea. I think it's good to have different kind of price points within these collector dolls so everyone can kind of get like a fun little thing. The doll that I'm talking about right now is Holiday Draculaura, who retails for like around $42, who is fun. I like that idea of having that. And like there's also like the Real Drama dolls, which are kind of collector in my opinion. And this doll is fine. I just wish that they were better at stocking her for the holiday season, because this doll didn't really get stocked that nicely until after it. The just lack of effort to kind of promote this doll, to actually give us coherent dates and stuff for when she was releasing, was really annoying, because she just like kind of popped up at Walmart, and then she was like at Mattel Creations, and then she sold out, and it was really hard to like want to buy this doll because it was just impossible. Also, kind of speaking for the Real Drama dolls, the teams have been super inconsistent on the release dates and the actual quantity of these dolls. Even like last year's crew production dolls had the weirdest like, I guess, distribution, because like some of these dolls just aren't marketed as collector dolls or like limited edition, that kind of thing. But then when they are limited edition, like out of the blue, like the Real Drama dolls where they came and went, it gives us, as collectors and fans and stuff, no time to really like buy them, to even know where they are, because a lot of these dolls weren't even like really available to buy. It was like really weird. Just in terms of, I guess, the Real Drama dolls. Pretend this is a Real Drama like Frankie. I have them over there, but I don't feel like getting them. They were never limited. Like again, they were never labeled as limited edition, never labeled as collector, never labeled as anything other than the Monster High dolls that were supposed to come out. They popped up on Target like for seconds. They popped up on Walmart for seconds, and it was super hard to get them. And then apparently all of the resellers bought them up. I feel like I've seen more of these dolls in PR packages than actual collectors' hands, which is definitely not, in my opinion, the point of making these dolls. And a lot of the dolls have really, really cool designs. A lot of these dolls introduce new things to the brand. I know they're not like new things, but like they're things that like, you want to add into your collection that isn't like a satiny paper dress, that isn't a lazy box art. And it's really cool to have these dolls. I just wish they were distributed better. And I know, whatever. Kind of going back to my point of, the purchasing of these dolls is more expensive to make because there's less, quality and stuff. This doll has had the biggest issues in my entire life. This doll, Frankenstein from Home Couture, is honestly not that good quality. I know it's a year later, and I know this doll, you can't even buy them anymore, but whatever. The stickers and like the little like foil stuff on this jacket has been peeling. You can already start to see it kind of. Ever since I touched them. I redid their hair like a month ago because I was like wanting to buy the Masquerade Frankie, but I was like, that's too expensive, and I already have a Hogwarts Frankie. Like, let's just like redo this one's hair. And oh my god, I don't wash the clothes on this doll. I didn't really even touch the clothes. I don't really play with my dolls. It's starting to peel. So the fact that you're paying a premium for these dolls and like the quality doesn't even last a year is so disheartening in my opinion. And I got this doll in April. Like it literally took forever to get to my house. It's just kind of upsetting. And I really wish, again, kind of going back to the Monster High thing as well, because I love my Monster High dolls. I wish that the collector dolls would be able to you purchase to be made or whatever. So like you would buy the doll a year in advance and then a year later, whenever they would be made or whenever they'd be produced, you can just have them. So that way every single collector can have a doll and it would be really cool because the company would be able to make as much money as the fans, need it. And there wouldn't be any like leftover stock, there wouldn't be any sort of issues. Also making sure that the quality control in these dolls is good because a lot of the Hot Couture dolls have just had horrible placement and everything, and I just think that would be a really good idea to have better quality control as well, just so like things like this don't happen, because it is really annoying because I paid such a premium for this doll and the outfit's already falling apart and it has not even, again, been a year. It's been just not as fun. It doesn't really make me want to buy them again. It doesn't make me want to um, take pictures or do anything like fun stuff that I usually do with my dolls. So it's just disappointing in its own way, you know? Kind of wrapping up my thoughts and stuff, I just think these dolls could all honestly be really fun and really cool if they just didn't go so crazy. Collector dolls in general should not be released every other month. They should be released twice a year, maybe, from each brand. And probably one during the holiday time, maybe one in like the summertime, like just so we don't have collector dolls everywhere that like lose their meaning and value because it's not as fun to me personally. And I think collector dolls overall could be a lot better in just terms of like using packaging wisely, having great quality control, being accessible, having number counts. A lot of this stuff is just very easy fixes that could, make collectors happier. And I think focusing on the playline dolls is always like the best idea personally. And I understand obviously the need for collector dolls, and I think collector dolls are still really, really cool. I just think that we can amp it up a little bit. But I wanted to thank you guys also so very much for watching and Ghoul chatting with me today. It was so much fun to chat with you guys and talk about our feelings. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have any thoughts and feelings about collector dolls and if you like them or not. If you don't like them, I want to know all the reasons and I'd love to chat it up as well. And yeah, thank you guys again so much for watching, and I hope you guys all have a great tonight, and I love you all so very much. See you in the next one. Love you. Bye. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye.